You guys, if you don't know DJing, right? You don't even know the level. What the fuck this guy is saying is he's real, dude. He's crazy. Yeah. Because it's like, okay, like last time, right, when you do turntablism, right? Because you need to scratch, but then you cannot stop the turntable, right? So you have an extra film of plastic. And that was like a manufactured item, you know. But when he started DJing before that thing was even created. So they had to like ad hoc use the plastic within, you know, the record holder plastic.
And like this was before the mixers were really like butter. So you'd put like an oil thing on it to get it faster and like wear them down. And there was all these like little tricks that I was learning. And that's when I was like consuming battle tapes and going to battle shows. And like
I still remember when they first invented that slip sheet, right? And they manufactured it, they called the slip sheet flying carpets.
Oh, nice.
So you can fly with it.
Feeling.
Yeah. Funny.
Yeah. So that got me on the DJing, and then so I don't know if you know this, you probably don't, but like how I ended up in Singapore, like the whole kind of backstory of it is when I moved to Boston. This was like mid 2000s. I was DJing. I just started getting paid DJ gigs. I'd go to like dive bars and be like, I'll DJ. Give me $50 and like a bar tab, and they'd let me set up and I'd play. And this was all like
you bring your own equipment.
Bring my own equipment. So like this was records. This was like right before Serato took over.
Crates and all.
So I'd walk it and I'd pack my crates, and then you're like, this is what I can play today, right?
Right.
You can't go outside, and so I bring it along. Anyway, did that for a couple years, and then I had a buddy who was like, hey, this new lounge, and lounge was kind of new at that time. Because like, what's a lounge? It's not a club, it's not a bar. Cocktail bars are just popping off now in like the early 2000s in the States. And he's like, it's on the Cambridge side. So Cambridge is like right across the river from Boston where MIT, Harvard are. So it's like its own city. And so we go in, and like the first night we start playing, and it popped off. The furniture, everybody moved the furniture out, and they just started dancing. And so I did that gig for many years. And then like some like Soul Clap came out of that, K-O-N, like the DJ guy, was from like that time and that movement where like clubs and lounges were really starting to, in Boston, to get going. So I'm sure they're going in New York and other cities. And then one night I'm DJing, I was doing mashups. That's when like mashup DJing was at its height, DJ AM, people like mixing genres and stuff. And so I was into it too. So I was doing mashups as well, and I did a Jay-Z Toto mashup, and this dude comes up and he's like, hey, what song is this? And I'm like, it's the Toto Africa with Jay-Z, and he's like, no, like what, like where'd you get it? And I was like, I made it. And he's like, oh, okay. So he kind of stood there, and then this is how I remember it.
Two turntables.
No, he's standing next to me, right? So I'm DJing, and I'm like, what's up with this guy? So then he's like, hey man, I got a bar, you could come play. And I was like, yeah. He gives me his card. Put it in my pocket. I finished the night. I don't think much about it. Wake up the next day. I'm like going in my pockets. I look, and then there's a card. And so I'm looking at the card. I'm like, I've only been to Canada and London, traveling. Not very
at that point.
At that point. Look at it, I'm like, +6.5. I'm like, +6.5. What? Like, where in the U.S. is this? I was like, what is this? Like I didn't know what it was. So then it had a website. And so I go Loof. So I go to the website, and I'm like, oh, it's a cool website. And I was like, where is it? In Singapore.
All right.
And I was like, Singapore. And of course, at the time, Americans, we only know Singapore for like a handful of things.
Yeah.
And so I emailed the guy, and I'm like, hey, man.
What the hell? That guy go to US to find you, to give you the guy?
So the guy studied in the US.
Right.
And he was visiting a friend in Boston.
Yeah.
And basically, I emailed him. I'm like, dude, I live in Boston. Like, I don't know, what I can do. He's like, yeah, but if you ever go to Asia, hit me up.